What's up, everyone? NFL Week 8 is here, and we're taking a look at FanDuel. This is going to be your FanDuel first look where we go over the salaries, we go over the matchups, we look for the bargains. There are some major bargains on FanDuel. I've already looked. I snuck a peek. Spoiler alert, I looked already. And we're going to find some incredible values NFL Week 8 on FanDuel. Going to break it all down for you. Going to go position by position. So let's jump right into it. And as you guys know, before we move forward, we got to take a look at these matchups. So I've loaded up the Domination Station Optimizer from DFS Army and our game tiles over here. So we can just get a look at these matchups and get an idea of some of these team totals. And I'll talk through a little bit of my thoughts on each game as we go through them. So let's get started right here. First game of the week, we've got the Packers at the Jaguars. 50.5 point total. Packers road favorites here, 27.5, but a healthy 23 point team total installed for the Jaguars. Interesting. This is a monster number, 50.5 for this season, especially. So this is a game that has to be on the radar on both sides. It's kind of under the radar, especially Jags. Like, who wants to play Jaguars players? Come on, you serious? But maybe there is something there. We'll have to keep them in mind. Jaguars team, you know, they've got Tank Bigsby Smalls. He smashed last week. Travis Etienne was out, so let's see what's going on with that. Might get a bargain running back in Tank Bigsby in that one. On the Packers side, yeah, the toughest part, of course, I love Love and all that he's doing, but it's really tough to stack him because they have at this point like 5 wide receivers that are getting time. So very tricky team to work with. I'm definitely not into paying up super stud pricing for someone like Jaden Reed. So we'll see what we do with this game. Colts at the Texans. Man, Anthony Richardson not looking that good. Could he turn it around in this one? I doubt it. I kind of think he's, I'm giving up. I'm giving up hope with Anthony Richardson. When he's the quarterback, that whole offense is terrible. I hate it. It's terrible. I feel bad about it. Happy I don't have too much dynasty exposure, I guess, but I'm starting to throw in the towel, but maybe he'll turn it around. You never know. On the Texan side, we have the same dynamic. No Nico Collins, so Tank Dell, Steffi Diggs, and of course, Joe Mixon has been spectacular for that team. So any of that would be a good thing this week. Cardinals at the Dolphins. This is the big one, guys. The return of Tua happening this week, and all the Dolphins players priced as if it's going to be Skylar Thompson or Snoop Huntley at quarterback. There is a misprice going on this week. I hope it doesn't affect, it will, but I hope it doesn't affect ownerships too much. But just all of the Dolphins are supreme bargains in this matchup. And that's the side that I'll be interested in. At home, in the sun, getting their guy back. It is going to be a big one in Miami. And we're going to have a lot of players from that team in this first look, I have a feeling. All right. Jets at the Patriots. A beat coming for the Patriots here. I like what Drake May is doing. I'm a fan. I think he's going to be amazing. But, this is a tough test. Jets coming off 2 losses. Oh, so painful. As a Jets fan, as you guys can see, I'm a Jets fan. It's been a long time since I felt the pain of loss, like sports loss. I feel it for my betting pain, but like the fan pain. And I allowed hope to creep in. It's been brutal. But hopefully they'll turn around. And as far as the Patriots go, I really like what they're doing, but this is a tough matchup for them, so I'm staying away. Jets defense is good, so I don't like that situation at all. Ravens at the Browns. Jameis Winston already named the quarterback for the Browns for this week. Jameis is not bad. He's fine. I mean, throws interceptions, all that, but he'll sling it out there. So David Njoku back in the mix. I don't even know who the hell else they have catching passes at this point in Cleveland. They traded away all their talent, but whatevs. As far as the Ravens go, 27.5 point team total. This is really just more of a spot where I'm probably going to stay away. Lamar Jackson generally, not always, but generally needs a push from the opposing offense to really get crazy. And I'm not sure he's going to get that from Jameis and the Browns. The Eagles at the Bengals. I think this one could be a banger. Now, Eagles defense has been playing better as of late, but they start off the season really poor. It's taken them a while to kind of learn a new system over there, but they've been playing a little bit better, but they're at the Bengals are a different level of offense that when they've been facing like the Giants, they've been facing terrible teams and they've been doing okay. Now they get the Bengals. Bengals are a good offensive team. I think the Eagles are a good offensive team too. These two teams can match each other, and neither plays really great defense, which is the recipe for a blow-up game. So this is one we want to keep on our radar this week. Joe Burrow double stacks and Jalen Hurts just single stacks with Brown. Yes, right. Easier with the Eagles in the sense that they don't have Goddard in there, so it's just one less name for your stacks that you have to worry about. Titans at the Lions, 45.5 point total on that game. Lions probably should roll here. It's Lions defense that I'm the most interested in. Not sure if Titans are going to start Levis or I can't remember the backup, Mason. I don't think it matters. They both stink. This is a get right game for the Lions. They're going to smash these guys, and I don't really know. There's too many weapons. There's no one way to go. I'm probably just going to avoid the whole scene, but I expect the Lions to smash them. Falcons at the Bucks. Bucks, oh man, they took one. They had a tough outing. Ravens lost both. They wind up losing both of their wide receivers, and the Bucks without Goddard and Godwin and Evans are probably not going to be that good of an offense. I just have a hard time thinking they're going to be that great. We might find some bargains on that team. Sterling Shepard or what's the other guy's name? Jalen McMillan or something like that. So we might find some bargains there, but for the most part, it's a bad scene. On the Falcons side, more of Bijan here, more of Kirk. I don't really know about Kirk Cousins, but Drake London will be popular here, and Bijan will be popular, and those are the names on that team. Darnell Mooney, all right. Doesn't really stand out to me. Bills at the Seahawks, 47 point total. They're all similar. This is a close game. I actually like this game. Similar to the Bengals-Eagles game, this one has some chance. There is some opportunity for a game like this to sort of start popping. The Bills' offense in general is going to improve now that they have Amari Cooper. I know people don't think that that's that big of a deal, but they severely lacked, a playmaking wide receiver. I don't know if I call it a possession, but a great route running wide receiver that's going to be open for Josh Allen and just a professional, veteran wide receiver. And that's what Amari Cooper brings. I think he's good. He was held back by Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson sucks, right? So he was held back. Now he's got Josh Allen, much better. And I think that whole Bills team massively improved with the addition of that player. Seahawks side, the Seahawks have been pretty good offensively. They've been able to keep up. So I like this game with some potential to pop for more than 47 points. It's definitely one that I'm going to be targeting pieces of in my DFS lineups. Chargers at the Saints at the Chargers. Chargers defense, right? The rattlesnakes coming back probably for the Saints. That's an ugly scene. It really is ugly. And Chargers play really good defense, so I wouldn't mess with this at all. I'm just going to avoid all of the Saints. And I will have some interest in maybe J.K. Dobbins, depending on the price. We'll see. Panthers at the Broncos. Also, another beating probably going to happen. Similar, horrible, low total. Broncos a little more live in this one. If you wanted to get on the Bo Nix bandwagon, this might be the time. Like, this game might be that time when he goes out there and styles a little bit. It's more likely that they'll just run it and, give it to Javonte or play some defense and win it that way. But this could be the time for the Bo Nix experience. The Panthers are running dead right now in terms of just the team in general. They don't care. They're quitting. They're not going to play defense either. They're a team that does not care anymore. They're playing for a pick. It's week 8. They're already playing for the pick. Bad scene. Bears at the Commanders. If Jaden Daniels plays, this game is so dependent on Jaden Daniels. It's crazy. I think he might play based on the line. It's tough to say. I feel like if he was playing, maybe the Commanders would be favored. So it's tough. I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. What I can tell you is Chicago defense really, really good. Washington offense without Jaden Daniels is probably going to be really bad. So we got to pay attention to that. Chicago side, though, this is a Washington team that it's been actually decent defensively, but nothing special. And I love what I'm seeing out of Caleb. He's got that swagger. He's got everything you like. So Caleb, not the easiest quarterback to stack. There's too many names on that team that are potential for putting up all three of the wide receivers and Cole Kmet could smash. And you don't know which one it's going to be. I don't like that situation in terms of stacks. If I'm going to, unless I have some other reason like DJ Moore's priced well or something like that, or like Bobby Wow likes DJ Moore, anything like that, I'll grasp on it. But for now, I do like Caleb in this game, and I like Chicago's offense. I like Swift, but overall, I don't know who to stack Caleb with, so it's going to be challenging. Chiefs at the Raiders. This is Chiefs defense, Kareem Hunt season. Right. That's about it. The Chiefs can't, their wide receivers can't be trusted. Their tight end can't be trusted. And the only thing we can trust is Kareem Hunt is getting a lot of touches. Chiefs defense, interesting here as well. Nightcap. FanDuel continues to include the night game. Dallas at San Francisco. Should be a good one here. San Francisco lost a bunch of their players, yet they're still favored. Like San Francisco, Ayuk goes down. Ricky Pearsall comes in this place fine. I actually believe that Deebo Samuel should just be back. He had pneumonia. It's a terrible thing to get, but there's a medicine for that, and I think he'll be better by next week. He's an NFL 28-year-old, super stud athlete, and guys like that shouldn't get knocked out too badly by something like pneumonia, unless he took the COVID shot. Well, hopefully he didn't, and that's not the case. So hopefully he'll be okay. And I expect him back next week. So we'll get sort of this slimmer, tighter San Francisco offense. I don't know what the hell's going on with Dallas. They stink all of a sudden. They were good last year, same team. Can you play Lamb at full price? I guess, but man, I'm not excited to do it. Probably going to stay away from this one. Maybe Rico Dowdle here. We'll check the price. All right, so that does it for the matchups. And a reminder, I've already entered them, so I can't show you on screen. But once again, FanDuel has brought back their no overlay guaranteed money, or what they call the 50%, top 50% get paid $3.25 contest this week. What more can I tell you? I've been telling you, this is the freest money you're ever going to see in DFS. If you're not maxing this out, you're really probably not a serious person in terms of how you play and attack DFS, or you're not serious in terms of wanting to be a profitable player. So I can't help you. We can have some fun. We're going to have laughs on these videos. But when I'm telling you, like, these guys are giving you free money in a tournament, you should really be entering that tournament. Like, it's the only plus EV gambling you're almost ever going to do, or it's the plusest EV gambling you're almost ever going to do. So I've said it. They actually did it for tonight's NBA slate as well. So they did it for the first night of NBA. I don't think that will continue. Like, they can't keep making these contests where they actually lose money. It's one thing if they had no VIG, which would be great too. But for them to actually put money into the contest, that is just wild. Kudos to FanDuel for making an effort to promote the DFS product. I appreciate that, because I haven't seen that out of DraftKings all that much. Okay, so let's go position by position. And we're going to take a look at the FanDuel salaries for the quarterback position. And we'll get started there. We're going to build a little lineup as we go. So let's get into it here. Starting up at the top, Josh Allen. He's in a good spot. I mean, I don't like this price, $9,400. That is a little spendy for a quarterback, but I get it. I think he's in a great spot. Josh Allen putting up big numbers most weeks, 24, 24, 30, 31. At this price, he legitimately needs like almost 36. It's going to be tough to get there. I don't think the way you win tournaments is by playing a $9,400 quarterback when there are $7,400 quarterbacks that are going to be somewhat viable. So yes, I love him, but am I playing him? Probably not. Jane Daniels, ribs issue, probably not going to run even if he does play. Week to week that doesn't tell me he's playing this week. So, there's that. Jordan Love, 8,900. Jordan Love can get it done. Again, he's difficult to stack, and he's very expensive here on FanDuel. So, it's that great Jacksonville matchup. No one has finished. I believe they said that no quarterback that's faced Jacksonville has finished less than QB 12, but we need QB 1 overall in this spot. So I like Jordan Love, but he's not going to be a focal point, or it's nothing special to pay the most salary for a quarterback. Let's find a cheaper one. Jackson, this isn't the kind of spot I normally like to play Lamar. Probably avoid it. Jalen Hurts, though. I think Jalen Hurts is fine here at 8,600. Obviously he has the constant risk of vulture by a super stud running back in Saquon Barkley. And I think that's been holding him down a little bit. You're not seeing the 30s out of Jalen. You're seeing those low 20 numbers. So, proceed with caution, but I do like Jalen there. CJ Stroud gets an elite matchup against the Colts. And again, Stroud is another guy that just has not gotten it done yet this year. 126-pointer, failed to crack 20 points in any other game. Doesn't really belong up here. Oh, you know who else doesn't belong up here at this price point? Pat Mahomes. What is he doing here? What has he done but get 14s and 16s? I can't go for that. Until they get a proper wide receiver in Kansas City, I think this is going to continue. I cannot stress enough where I don't understand why all the other teams are going out and acquiring talented wide receivers from teams that are tanking. And KC is just like, nope, not going to do it. We need our 4th round pick. Like, your 4th round, this is a Super Bowl. You have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Go get Cooper Kupp. It's not that complicated, guys. It's ridiculous. Baker Mayfield. No wide receivers. Can't play him. Jared Goff. No. I mean, Tennessee, slow team, boring. Probably going to be a running game. Probably not going to have Detroit. I'm more interested in Detroit defense there. Kyler, I just never play Kyler. Purdy. Purdy won me the afternoon only tournament on DraftKings this past week, and I got really lucky because everybody in the contest double stacking him, and so did I, or even single stacks, but it was always Ayuk or Debo, and I just happened to catch one lineup with, and that's the beauty of the Dom station at high randomization. I caught one lineup with Kittle and Ricky Pearsall, and I blew away the I beat the top scorer in a giant GPP by like 3 points, which is unusual. Normally winning by like 0.1 or 0.2. So that was pretty awesome. Thank you, Brock Purdy. I think he's playable here as well. It's fine. The name I'm going to click on is Joe Burrow. And yes, the Eagles defense has been good, but they can score. They can score a little bit. At 7,700, I think it's a fair price for Joe Burrow. He's been putting up, he's had some monster games. He's kind of been all over the place a little bit, but 7, 14, 21, 28, need that mid-20s kind of score, like one of these to get there. He's got a 37 in the mix. So I think Joe Burrow can get it done here. Normally, if you're going to play Joe Burrow, you kind of have to get Jamar Chase in there. And I might want some pieces from the Eagles if I was playing him. But there's a couple other quarterbacks that I think are even lower priced that are usable. So I'll talk about those guys, right? Dak, is this that game where he finally gets it together? Maybe, but like as GPP only as it gets. Geno, we've tried to make Geno a thing for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's not really a thing. He's priced appropriately at 7,500, but I think he'll get you another 20. It's fine. Caleb Williams is really interesting here at 7,400. And if I didn't go Burrow, I'd probably go Caleb Williams. 3 out of his last 4 games have been 20 plus. This price is too low. The matchup is really good. He's got that swagger. So $7,400 Caleb, I don't mind that as well. I plug right in, save 400, have no qualms. And with Caleb, you're not really overly concerned with who to stack him with. You can kind of go naked if you need to. So I'm going to leave him in there, but I might flop back to Joe Burrow in a minute. Let's see if there's any other quarterbacks on the slate that really pop. No, Herbert, no. Flacco, no. Aaron Rodgers, he's not a quarterback that I'm normally going to play in DFS. I'm just not doing it. He's just not that guy. Now, I do like that Devontae Adams is there, and, maybe he's worth playing, but I'm leaning no. Trevor Lawrence, it's been, I feel like, forever since he's had a good game. And when it does happen, it usually does come from like a rushing touchdown or something else. Let's see. His most passing touchdowns in a game so far is just 2. So this is just not a good scene at all, but it is a great matchup with the Packers. I just don't, in terms of the game environment, the high total and all of that being at home, but he stinks. Drake May, tough matchup. I do like May, but it is a tough, wait a second. An errant price on Tua. Now, normally I don't play Tua, right? Tua with Tua. But week 1, 21. FanDuel has added the 300-yard bonus, which is key and critical. Now, imagine the same situation, 300 yards. He only threw for 1. What if he throws for his normal 3 touchdowns? tack on another 10 points here. We're talking a 30 for Tua. That's my guy. Tua coming off the IR, coming off the concussion. Please, Tua, don't, put that giant foam hat over the Guardian over your helmet, bro. Please put the Guardian thing. You don't look, it's not Spaceballs. You don't look like Spaceballs, bro. Protect the noggin. Protect yourself. I'm doing it. Tua, starting lineup. Anybody else here that we might consider? The Rattlesnake? Hell no. Andy Dalton? Nope. Bo Nix, look at him at 6,900. Again, reminder, I said in the we're interested in Bo Nix also here. Don't sleep on Bo Nix at 6,900 in that particular matchup. All right, but I'm going to leave Tua in there, but I'm going to give a nod to Caleb. I'm going to nod to Joe Burrow, and I'm going to give a nod to Caleb, and of course, the craziest of them all, a nod to Bo Nix. Crazy. We're paying down. All right, shifting gears to the running back position. On FanDuel, running back is everything. Actually, before we shift gears, who's your quarterback wide receiver pair for on FanDuel for NFL Week 8? Hit me in the comments. Let me know what combination are you starting your first look lineup with. We all got to build our first look lineups, guys. This is the fun of an NFL week. This is the cadence of the week. Get that early. We got a Thursday game. Lose concentration. Pay attention to Thursday. Then Friday, back to it to crush the Sunday slate. So, I'm starting with Tua on this one, but who are you starting with on your lineup? Also, if you're enjoying this FanDuel specific content, let me know. Hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the DFS Army YouTube channel for all of the content as it comes out throughout the week. Okay, Tua's in. Let's take a look at the running back group for NFL Week 8 on FanDuel. At the very top, we've got Derrick Henry, 9,200. Yeah, he's been smashing, averaging 24 fantasy points per game. The matchup is fine against Cleveland. Baltimore's a heavy favorite. You want to play Derrick Henry as a favorite. It's that simple. Look what this guy's done. It's so good. When they're favored, he usually does his best. It's not always going to work. But, even if you watch the Tampa game, he started slow and then just came on late and just smashed, get the 100-yard bonus, gets the touchdown. This is a guy who can get 2 touchdowns. It was a miraculous receiving touchdown. That's unusual for him, but that's just what Derrick Henry does. And he can do it here again. It's a little expensive. What are you going to do? Same thing with Barkley. Great. He's been spectacular this year. Well, there's nothing to complain about. 34, 35, 28. These are monster scores. There's some duds in the middle, but the Eagles are looking good, and he is a massive part of what they're doing. So if I can afford it, I'm trying to get one of these guys. Mixon too. Right? He's been great as well. Another 30-pointer, 30. He's hitting 30, 75% of the time right now. And this one game is where he got hurt. So Mixon has been spectacular. I can't say enough about him. Again, 9K. It's crazy that he's up there in price with Henry and Barkley, but that's where we're at now. Mason is a little bit less good for me than those other guys. I mean, what the hell has he done to earn this $8,900 price tag? I'm going to pass on that one. There's going to be some bargains at the running back spot, guys. There are some bargains here. So bear with me. But a lot of these guys are priced up crazy high. Like if I had to choose, I'm probably going Burrow, maybe Mixon here. I don't know. Barkley, and Mixon. And if I had to pay these high-priced guys, I prefer these 3 to Mason or even Bijan. Now, Bijan might be interesting in the sense that, he just is getting more work each week, but also Tampa might be sort of a weakened opponent. So that could be interesting. Not a super fan of Jahmyr Gibbs at this price. He did have his best game of the season last week. It came off the back of 2 touchdowns. The problem is, with Montgomery had gotten hurt in that game. It's one or the other. It's almost never both. Connor's priced up a little bit for me here at 8,300 as well. He had a pretty decent outing in his last game as well, but just decent. 8,300, 816, 24. You're looking about 24-ish, maybe 26 fantasy points. He can get there, but it's he hasn't gotten there yet this year, and I don't love this matchup for him, so I'm probably going to stay away. Kamara, I'm going to stay away as well. I don't like underdog running backs at all. If I'm going to play a running back, my preference, now that doesn't mean an underdog can't win. I'm just saying my preference is not to use them. But I do like Kareem Hunt, who is getting massive amounts of volume right now. 27 carries 2 weeks ago, 22 carries, 2 targets last week. It's just a lot of volume for Kareem Hunt. This is an expensive price point, but I don't mind it. I'll tell you who I like a little bit better, though. Brees Lightning, a.k.a. Brees Hall, and Kenny Walker. I mean, so many good spots. Brees Lightning, Jets, massive favorite in this game. Angry Jets. I do think, Rodgers might want to throw for some of those touchdowns, but Brees Hall is very usable here at 7,900. Also, Kenny Walker. Now, again, that's an underdog running back. I prefer favored running backs, but Kenny Walker's been really good. So, he's absolutely playable at 7,800 here. A little, maybe underpriced. So many good spots here. James Cook, I'm okay with it. Robinson, probably only if Jaden Daniels comes back. Jacobs finally caught a touchdown pass. I think it was the first receiving touchdown, they said, of his career. But he still only got 2 touchdowns on the year, and he's still been an uninspired sort of pay-up option at running back on the season. It could change at any time. It's just variance, but it's definitely been uninspired, to say the least. Let's see here. We got J.K. Dobbins, 7,400. Saw a lot of players this week. What's going on? But J.K. Dobbins also playable. Not, he was chalk the other night on the 2-game slate and failed. And I told you guys, if you watch the breakdown, you got to fade the chalk. And that's what you had to do. So hopefully you did that. You always got to fade the chalk. Always fade the chalk on a 2-game slate. Chuba Hubbard. No, I don't like it. Again, underdog, ugly spot, not a fan. Could be okay, but no. Tank Bigsby, if he's the only guy, and if ETN remains out, and I think he probably will, I think you play Tank Bigsby. That'd be fine. Tony Pollard, no. Nick Chubb, no. Devon Achane, underpriced. Devon Achane, yes, please. Right? I'm plugging Devon in. Devon Achane is so much better with Tua in there. It's not even funny. This is a whole different player. He's had a couple bad weeks. Yeah, because his quarterback wasn't there. With the threat of Tua and the long ball, teams cannot focus in on the run on Miami. That's why these guys get these massive holes to run through. So, yeah, I'll take a little Achane there. Another guy I like a lot is Swift here at 6,500. So we're finding those bargains. 19, 26. That's 3 games in a row. 4 targets, 2 targets, 7 targets. That's what I like about him. He'll target spike when necessary. He's still in the game no matter what. Is Swift finally turning into something good? It's been like 5 years. When was he drafted? 4 years? Has it been how many seasons has this guy been mediocre? And all of a sudden it's turning around. It's hard to believe it. I personally still have a hard time believing it, but hey, let's roll with it. Rachaad White, hey, also another guy, like great week last week, 10 carries, 6 targets, went crazy, 2 receiving touchdowns. They might have to throw to him a lot more. So this might be a sneaky play, Rachaad White. They might have to throw to him a lot more with all those wide receivers out, and, or they're just a terrible offense and they can't do anything. It's one or the other. Scrolling down, let's see if anybody else pops. Rico Dowdle could be interesting. Javonte Williams could be interesting down here. And Raheem Mostert could be mildly interesting as well. So, I mean, in order of it, yeah, Rico is the starting running back for this team. Now, with that being said, the offense for Dallas has been a disaster. Could they turn around? I don't know. But Dowdle is the starting running back for $6K on FanDuel. That's almost the price of a backup. Same thing with Javonte in a great situation, the best matchup of the year. At $6K, I think these guys are going to be super popular. I can't imagine they won't. Most are probably more of an under the radar play at 5,900. So a trio of Javonte, Rico, and even Mostert, and I'd order them probably Javonte, Rico, Mostert in that order of very, very low cost running backs. This is going to be a fun week to build on FanDuel with all of this value. We can also reach up and pay for these super stud running back. There's great running backs all over the place. It's really exciting. All right, let's jump over to defense. I like to go defense, tight end, and then close it out with wide receiver, especially on FanDuel where we need to put that running back in the flex. So we need to see how much salary we have left over for the wide receiver position. So let's find not just the cheapest viable defense, but the cheapest quality defense. I want a good defense on this team. So let's see if we can get it. Vegas, no. Titans at Detroit, no. Browns, no. Panthers, no. Patriots, no. Colts, no. Dolphins, I'll give them a maybe, but leaning no. Jaguars, no. Cowboys, no. Falcons, I'm going to give them a maybe as well at Tampa with no wide receivers, but going to lean no. Cincinnati, meh. Arizona, meh. New Orleans, eh. One thing about FanDuel is they are really sharp with how they price the defenses on the site, and it's really hard to find. Like I said, I think we could, if we were forced to, I think I could maybe handle like a Miami or Atlanta against Tampa, take a shot there. Not loving it. Maybe Arizona, nah, not against this quarterback anyway. So still nothing exciting. Here, our first kind of semi-exciting here, San Francisco taking on Dallas. I don't mind San Francisco. Dallas has been horrible. Detroit at home taking on the Titans. If Will Levis is playing, that's who we're playing, right? So Detroit, spectacular, especially against Will Levis, but even against Mason Rudolph, he stinks too. Houston, very playable. Chicago against the backup quarterback for Washington is going to be playable. But the best of all, Chargers at home take against the Rattler, the Rattlesnake. That is a spectacular spot. I'm not going to pay $4,500 on the first look lineup. I'm going to go down to the cheapest viable, which is Detroit. But Chargers, great spot. Chiefs, acceptable. Jets, nice. Denver, decent. And Baltimore, very playable as well. Okay. Tight end. NFL Week 8. FanDuel. Starting, let's just go through this from the top down. So George Kittle coming off, I thought he had a pretty good game. Yeah, 7 targets, 6 receptions, 90 yards. Good game, but you could see how FanDuel nerfs good wide receiver games if there's no touchdown or 100-yard bonus. Like 12.2 is like, he didn't do that great. Well, 7 catches, 6 receptions, 90 yards. Still, that's a pretty good game. Bowers, massive target numbers, 14, 10, 12 over the last 3 weeks. That will continue here. And, I get it. AOC went out. Now it's back to Minshew. It doesn't matter. Kelsey is turd. Trey McBride, not putting up the big numbers, really. So I'm not going to get super excited about that. I'll tell you what they should do. New Orleans, if Taysom Hill was healthy, the Saints should have made Taysom the quarterback. That would have been fun. And we could have played him at tight end as a quarterback. That would have been the cheat code of the century. All in every single lineup that we make. But alas, 'twas not to be. Evan Ingram, 6,200. Yeah, I like that. I don't mind Jake Ferguson here either. That's fine. Laporta, 6K. Oh, how the mighty hath fallen. TE1 this season in fantasy has now dropped to 6K right there with Tucker Kraft. Okay. At some point that'll turn around, I guess. Tucker Kraft's been fine. Likely fine. Pitt's okay also. So a lot of decent spots here, but I'm going to go with David Njoku at 5,500. Again, Jameis Winston's good quarterback. He's fine. Njoku last week, we played him as a core play, 14 targets. Are you kidding me? Got a touchdown. So, if you can get, I'm not even going to ask for 14 targets. Like, how about give me 10 targets? I'll be happy. 5,500. Look how much salary we have remaining. Like, we are able to stud up at wide receiver on this lineup like never before. We can, of course, also swap in a studlier running back somewhere. And all of it's due to playing a cheaper quarterback. And, wait until you see this stack. All right, so let's now roll through the wide receiver position and kind of get a feel for the position group. Right, very top, Jamar Chase. Yeah, sure, he's going to smash. Love that. CeeDee Lamb hasn't getting it done at all this year, averaging only 12.7 FanDuel points per game. Not good. Not good, CD. Not good. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could pay. The 30-plus pointer is coming for CD one of these weeks. Is it this week? I don't know. A.J. Brown also, he's been great. I feel like him and Hurts are the only connection. Smith has been an afterthought. Amon-Ra, not in this spot. Not in this spot, bro. Stephon Diggs, 8,500, inappropriately priced. DK Metcalf, 8,300. I think that's actually a decent spot, but also a little spendy for him. Jaden Reed, inappropriately priced at 8,100. The only thing about Jaden Reed that allows him to be an 8K player is when he doesn't get it done, he's like a Deebo Samuel. Like, he just will pop. It only takes 5 or 6 touches, and he scores 2 touchdowns. Yak all over the place. He's yakking everywhere. He's yakking all over the place. You know what else yaks all over the place? My cat. Always fucking yakking somewhere. But this guy's got the yak, yard after catch. It's a different kind of yak than the cat, because what she does is she pukes on the carpet, and then I got to clean it. And that sucks. But anyway, Jaden Reed with the yak, yards after catch. But way too expensive. London, a little pricey here. Devontae Adams. I'm mildly interested in him, but I might need to see it. He got a lot of targets in his first game with the Jets, just wasn't able to really connect with Aaron Rodgers. I think they'll be better this week, and I think we'll get vintage Devontae Adams games coming up. But it's also important to note that Adams is competing with Garrett Wilson, so he's not the only guy. But I do think a vintage Adams game is coming up. I think he's going to score a touchdown, so I don't mind playing him. But the first name we are going to click on, Reek. Tyreek Hill, 7,600, just underpriced. It's an easy stack with Tua, but he's just incorrectly priced, which is great. He's going to be super high owned, so I might, it just is what it is. We're going to have to deal with Reek chalk, but Reek chalk is good chalk, I think. T. Higgins, 7,500. Yeah, okay. Garrett Wilson, 74. Okay, also. Harrison, no. Worthy, no. Cooper, maybe. Right? Is it time? I don't know. Cooper is a big maybe for me. I don't mind it. He only ran 13 routes last week, so it wasn't like he was out there smashing, but it didn't take much with Josh Allen for him to smash. So I don't mind it. 7,100. We'll keep him in mind. Let's see. Tank Dell at 6,900. Playable. DJ Moore, probably somebody I'll reserve for my Caleb Williams lineups, and I will have lots of Caleb Williams lineups this week. So I'll mix in Moore and the rest of them, Keenan Allen and even Odunze and Kmet in those. Brian Thomas Jr. has been the best wide receiver on the Jaguars by far. I don't mind it. 6,500, got big upside. I don't mind it at all. Let's see. What else? Downs, no. Jennings, maybe if he comes back, we'll have some interest in Juwan Jennings with all the other players on the team injured right now. We have to keep an eye on his health. Let's keep scrolling and see who else pops up here. Oh, yeah. All right, so we'll just talk through these. But, yeah, I mean, Tyler Lockett, fine. Pittman is just aight for me. I don't mind Pittman here, actually. He does, weirdly, he seems to do better with Richardson than Downs, where Downs does better when it's Flacco. I don't know why. McConkey, Judy, meh. Tolbert, meh. But then we get Tua with Tua, Jalen Waddle, and Reek, and Tua for all the points with Achane, a Miami gone wild. It's Miami gone wild. We talked about it last week. I'm making it happen. Show me your tutties, Tua. Miami gone wild. You'd buy the tape. You guys all would buy Miami gone wild. Everybody would be lined up to buy that VHS cassette. Me too. Show me the tutties, Tua. That's what we're going to do this week. We're getting Mardi Gras. We're going to put beads on. We're going to put some beads on. Mardi Gras, Miami. I don't know why I'm saying Mardi Gras. It's New Orleans. But it's just, the gone wild aspect of it. The show me your tutties. Show them. Jameson Williams. Note that Jameson is so much cheaper on FanDuel than DraftKings. He's appropriately priced on FanDuel here at 59. I don't mind it. He could pop for a big play at any time. Let's see. Anybody else of interest down low here to mention? K-Shack, a little underpriced here at 5,800. I think that's crazy too. He's very playable. K-Shack, 5,800. Sure, why not? Leggett, no, not really. Christian Watson, yeah, for some upside. Quentin Johnston, maybe if he comes back this week. Rashad Bateman, oh my goodness, what a game he's coming off of. 23 fantasy points. He really smashed last week. Could do it again. I don't like chasing that. Ridley, the Riddler. No, thank you. Tipton, no. Keon Coleman also. I think he had a big week as well. Yep. Big week for Keon. So a lot of these wide receivers connected with Josh Allen are cheap enough. And actually, it's making me rethink things. Like the stacks with Allen are so cheap that actually Josh Allen headed lineups might not be the most difficult thing to create this week. I don't mind that. As going down the list, a couple other names, maybe Ricky Pearsall, little Sterling Shepard here at 5K with Tampa could be interesting with all their guys out. Yeah, that's about it for the wide receiver position. Let's see what we have left. 8,800. So what are we going to do? Right. So we've got a double stack. We've got a double stack with Tua, Reek, and Jalen Waddle. We've got 8,800 for the last wide receiver spot. As you can see here, that's not quite enough to get to this stud zone. And I don't really like too many of these players down here, right? So what do you do when you don't have enough salary to quite squeeze in the lineup that you want? Options. I think we can go down and maybe upgrade. I don't really even know how much we can upgrade. I guess we can maybe get off of Hall and get to the stud zone if we play a cheaper wide receiver. We saw some wide receivers down here that were certainly interesting. But my preference would be, so how much? I have 8,800. If I could get to Jamar Chase at 9,200, even Amon-Ra, but Chase at 9,200, where can I find 400 in salary? I am going to, now we could always get off of Swift and go to those 6K running backs. That's probably the right thing to do. But instead, I'm just going to punt away defense so this lineup can look as sexy as possible. Falcons against a Bucs team with no running backs. I think that's, it's not great, but I can live with it. Again, the other option would be to drop Swift down to one of these running backs in this zone, the Javonte Williams, Rico Dowdle zone. Maybe Javonte would probably be the right call. So if I wanted to do that, I would go maybe Javonte Williams here, and then we can go up on defense. But my mama told me never to sacrifice an elite, a solid player that you like just to pay up for a defense. So I'm going to do that. We'll go with the cheaper defense, Falcons, and we will stick with, where is he? We'll stick with DeAndre Swift here. And that is your NFL Week 8 first look lineup on FanDuel. We've got a double stack of Tua with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Tua with Tua. Miami gone wild. Show me your tutties, right? That's what we got going on there. We didn't even bring it back with anything from Arizona. Don't need it. Don't want it. We triple down on Miami with Devon Achane, who can catch a touchdown pass, but also run for a touchdown. Then we've got Breece Hall as a massive favorite running back at New England, massively favored. We've got Njoku coming off 14 targets with Jameis Winston at the helm on a team that doesn't have anybody else to throw to. We got Jamar Chase, stud in the second game that I'm excited about this week, the Cincinnati-Philadelphia game that could really, really pop. And Jamar Chase has that 35-point upside. Finally, closing it out with DeAndre Swift, who has been spectacular. And again, I've given you permission to swap out Swift to go down to Javonte Williams or Dowdle or something like that, or to get up from Falcons to a better defense. We could also just do something at tight end, like punt it. Let's see. There's plenty of punt tight ends here where we could save 500 and do the same thing. I would probably, given the choice, I will probably make both of these lineups as I look at it. I'll probably make a version with the better defense and the lesser running back in the end. But this is your FanDuel NFL Week 8 first look lineup. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know who you're starting your lineup with this week. Give me your running back pair. Which running back stood out to you? Did I shit on someone that you actually like? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and we will see you later in the week. Take care, everybody.